After the War of the Ring, which brought the defeat of Sauron and the collapse of his reign of terror, a mysterious question remained for many fans. What was the fate of the Dark Lord's spirit after the destruction of the One Ring? Sauron was no ordinary being. He possessed an ancient lineage and an immortal spirit that could never be completely destroyed. Yet, even at the height of his power, he was not immune to the devastating consequences of war. In his pride and insatiable thirst to dominate others, Sauron sealed his own doom. He poured a massive portion of his native power and soul into the One Ring. When the fires of Mount Doom consumed the ring at the end of the war, his physical form was utterly destroyed, turning to ash. But what happened to his remaining spirit, and what became of his residual power? Could a shadow of his malice still linger in the dark, waiting to rise again? Today, we take a journey into the heart of Middle-earth to find the answers. We explore where the echoes of his legacy still resound, and how his spirit was cast upon the wind. Hello, friends. I'm Max, and welcome to the Lore Compass, the channel where we explore cinema, television, and legendary literature, with a special focus on the fantasy genre. If you enjoy this journey, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. To understand the essence of Sauron's spirit, we must go back to the very beginning of time. According to the Silmarillion, in the timeless void, Eru Ilúvatar, the supreme creator of Tolkien's universe, fashioned a grand vision of the world. Its first threads were holy beings called the Ainur, spirits born from his thoughts, whom he adorned with the beauty of music. They sang the grand theme known as the Ainulindale, shaping the cosmos. This vision was then given physical reality by Eru's imperishable flame, creating the universe. Among these holy spirits was one who would later be known as Sauron. After the creation of the world, some of the Ainur descended into the realm of Arda to shape it. The most powerful among them became known as the Valar, the guardians of the world. Beside them were their lesser kin, the Maiar, who served the Valar and learned from their wisdom. Sauron was originally a Maia, serving Aule, the smith, the creator of the dwarves. However, Sauron eventually betrayed his master and allied with Melkor, the first Dark Lord of the world. Regarding Sauron's motives, the beauty of Eru's creation was so awe-inspiring that those who entered Arda became deeply captivated by it. However, in some, this admiration turned to envy. Lacking the power of true creation, they sought to possess or replicate it. For example, Aule created the dwarves to populate the empty lands, wanting others to enjoy Arda's beauty. On the other hand, Melkor, the mightiest of the Ainur, wanted to dominate and claim the world as his own. Sauron, too, viewed the world through the lens of envy, a mixture of obsession and praise. Bound to Arda, his malice simmered, never to be fully extinguished. In Tolkien's universe, any being endowed with a spirit possesses an immortal soul. When their physical shell dies, it is not the absolute end. For men, their spirits leave the circles of the world into the unknown. For the immortal elves, their spirits journey to the halls of Mandos, where they rest and reflect before eventually being granted a new body. In the Elven tongue of Quenya, the physical body is called the Hröa, while the spirit is the Fea. But for the Ainur, things are different. They do not naturally require a physical body. They are formless spirits. When they wish to interact with the material world, they project a physical shape called a Fana. Just like we put on clothes, the Valar and Maiar donned these physical raiments out of love for the children of Ilúvatar. However, their existence is not dependent on this form. As stated in the Silmarillion, they can walk unseen and unclad. Over time, dwelling in a Fana for too long can bind a spirit to the physical realm. The spirit weaves a deep emotional and psychological bond with its physical vessel, succumbing to earthly desires, from simple physical comforts to darker impulses like wrath, greed, and the lust for power. This binding is especially prominent among the Maiar. This physical binding is beautifully illustrated in the story of Melian, a Maia who fell in love with the Elven king Elûthingol. Through their love, they had a daughter named Luthien, permanently binding Melian to her earthly form. There are also dark, tragic examples of this binding. Melkor, despite his immense power, slowly lost his ability to change his shape. He allied with Ungoliant, a primeval spirit in the form of a monstrous spider. Together, they destroyed the two trees of Valinor. Following this vile deed, Melkor became permanently trapped in his dark, terrifying physical form, the Dark Lord Morgoth. He could no longer heal his wounds, his hand remained burned from the Silmarils, and his leg was forever injured by the Elven king Fingolfin. In the book Morgoth's Ring, we learn that after his eventual defeat in the War of Wrath, Morgoth's once mighty spirit was reduced to something incredibly small and broken, forever bound to his ruined form before being thrust into the void. Similarly, when Sauron's physical form was destroyed in the downfall of Numenor, it took him a decade to rebuild a body. After his second defeat by the Last Alliance, it took over 1,000 years. When Numenor sank into the sea, Sauron lost his ability to assume a fair and beautiful form. He could no longer disguise himself as Anatar, the Lord of Gifts, who had deceived the elves of Eregion into forging the Rings of Power. To dominate the other rings, Sauron had forged the One Ring in the fires of Mount Doom, pouring most of his native power into it. This act linked his life force directly to the ring. As long as the ring existed, his spirit remained anchored to Arda. After the destruction of the One Ring in the fires of Mount Doom, Sauron was permanently severed from his power. Tolkien writes in The Return of the King that when the ring was destroyed, the captains of the West saw a massive shadow rise over Mordor, reaching out in a final gesture of powerless rage, only to be swept away by a great wind. His spirit was not annihilated, but it was reduced to a harmless, impotent shadow, a mere whisper of malice, unable to ever take physical form or affect the world again. In his letters, Tolkien confirms that Sauron fell to the same level of impotence as Morgoth, drifting into the void of endless shadow. Some Tolkien fans believe that our modern world is the future of Middle-earth, meaning Sauron's formless, powerless spirit still wanders among us today, feeding on discord and hatred. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'm Max, and this is the Lore Compass. Goodbye!